Alright, a week ago I made a video, you blew it dice, explaining that I would give it 1 week to see if there was going to be another update, to see if there was going to be any patch notes, and to see, just in general, if there was going to be any communication from DICE whatsoever. Now, we kinda got that. We have a small update, a tiny little update thing, and not really much communication from DICE. We did get some, but I'll go into that a little bit later because it's very entertaining. So I'm going to read through the list of update notes here, and I want to know how many of you actually experienced these updates working, because in my experience playing the game yesterday, I didn't experience any of the issues that I've experienced before work as intended. So it doesn't matter that there's been an update, I still have basically the same issues. So we're going to read through the notes here. And I want to read to you one that my friend used to have, and I think they fixed it. So it's in general here. Fix an issue where leaving a party during matchmaking could make the game unresponsive. I don't know 100% if this is even working, but I've heard no complaints from my friend as of yet, but anything could change, you know? I want to know how many of you had this issue, updated behavior of the quit button during gameplay, so it now returns you to the correct screen. Where did it send you? Where did the quit button send you before this fix? What? I don't know. That's a very strange one, and I can't believe not even the quit button worked correctly. And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if it still didn't work properly. Now, this is where it gets interesting. This is where a lot of my issue stems from. Soldier. Fixed a rare occurrence where after landing the wingsuit, hits wouldn't always register on some parts of Sundance's hitbox. Now I did notice this before, is that Sundance is very difficult to hit sometimes when she lands. So, I haven't had a Sundance land near me in the time that I played, but I hope this one works. I really do. Now this one fixed occurrences of rubber banding when running behind friendly players. I experienced this the very first time I tried it. And I also experienced it when I wasn't even trying to test it. This update, does not work as intended. I still rubber band when running behind friendly players. How much would it, affect the gameplay just to make friendly players transparent to you? And by that I mean just have them fully able to be walked through or shot through. Why does my friendly player, or why does my team need to stop me from running, and why does my team need to stop me from defending myself when someone is clearly in front of us shooting at us, but I can't shoot through my teammate to kill him first? This one needs more work, and it needs more testing. Fixed a rare issue that could cause you to be stuck in both an alive and down loop. I am not kidding you, I experienced this nearly instantly. This issue has not been fixed. And I simply, at this point, I want to point out that in that video that I made previously, I also said I had confidence, a little bit sarcastically, that you're taking your time with the next update to properly test things. I refuse to admit that you tested the game for more than an hour, because it's one of the first things I noticed. Fixed a variety of issues with attaching to ladders that could cause you to get stuck in a state where you could fly away or lose control of your specialist. Now, I don't know if this one is working or not, but I did notice that the little bounce back that you sometimes get when you actually try and attach yourself to a ladder, but press a different button, is still in the game, but I didn't lose control of a specialist or fly away. But that little bounce back is still there. Fixed an issue where soldier movement speed was impaired by nearby explosions that spawned craters. This, as far as I could tell, is not fixed. I still had helicopters that were making me stick in place, as did my friend. It's not fixed. It simply isn't. Fix an issue where camera shake and audio for landing would unintentionally trigger when dropping from very small heights. I have never experienced this, so I can't say as to whether or not it did happen, but if you guys still experience this, let me know, because, again, the rest of these issues seem to either be like 90% fixed or not fixed at all. Fix an issue where weapons from a loadout crate would sometimes inherit ammo from the previously selected weapon. Now, I had to read this one a few times the first time. I couldn't believe it. I didn't even properly understand it. The way that I understand this is that... So let's say, for example, you have the M5 and you have the 9mm rounds. and then you switch to the SCAR, does that mean the SCAR would then have 9mm rounds in it? Does that mean your entire weapon was bugged? Like the SCAR would have the damage model of the M5 for a brief amount of time? How does that happen? How? Has anyone experienced this? Is this just a super rare thing, or is this a common thing? It confused the hell out of me when I first heard it. This one, fix an issue where being spotted when firing a weapon would spot you for too long. Now, this spotting issue is the least of your worries. It simply does not matter to me that firing my weapon would spot me for too long, when Boris's sentry turret can spot me from miles away for the entire enemy team to see. That feature simply needs to be removed. Pike's ability to spot you needs to be nerfed. Rao's ability to spot people around him needs to be nerfed. There are far too many ways to spot people in this game. And if you do not have a specialist that can counter the spot by simply spotting people back, what are you supposed to do? Most of the time, you don't even know you've been spotted by a simple thing. You could have, on the bottom of your screen, location revealed, and you could die half a second later. There is very little combat, unless you are the most tactical player, and by that I mean you sit in the corner waiting for whatever is spotting you to push you. And even then, there is no guarantee that you would even live to see the encounter. Just nerf all spotting, please. It's one of the main things that bugs me. So out of this list, very little of it has been fixed, and some of it I can't even confirm. But the fact of the matter is that I still experience some of these issues. They're not fixed. Now this one, stability. Added multiple fixes to improve overall game stability. Now, this is also not fixed. I had 2 crashes yesterday in a 1-hour period, which is more than I've ever experienced before. So whatever you did to improve stability, I don't think it's working as intended, simply put. I want to talk about this one. Weapons. Sniper and soul lamp scope glints now show from a further distance. This is not a change that was really needed. Vehicles, helicopters mostly, are already powerful enough. The soul lamp nerf, I will call this a nerf, does not need to be a thing. Simply put, the less a helicopter in this game right now knows that something is targeting it, the better. They are simply too powerful and too easy to use. If I can do well with a helicopter, and I am a garbage pilot, if I can do well with a helicopter, it means they are too easy to use. And what's more, it doesn't even matter that you added this scope glint, because even if they manage to avoid whatever is targeting them with flares or some other bullshittery, they just fly away. So the soap lamp becomes useless because then it's too far away. What is the point of this nerf at all? The sniper nerf? Yeah, maybe so. It's nice to know more about, if someone's looking at you from a long distance. But the soap lamp nerf? No. This simply didn't need to be the case. And what's more, if you're gonna nerf the soap lamp, please fix the issue me and my friend continuously have in this game, where one of us would see a helicopter flare use its flares, and the other wouldn't. We are in the same game on the same server. One of us will see a helicopter flare, and one of us will not. It leaves us so baffled as to how we are supposed to combat helicopters when not even the flares show up correctly. How are we supposed to combat helicopters when we don't have enough feedback as to what we are not doing or what we are doing? There is not enough information given to us, because sometimes a lock will just vanish without a trace for no reason. The helicopter will have flared 5 seconds previous, we will lock on, we will fire, and it will still lose lock, and there will be no more flares. Is it a server-side issue? I don't know. But right now, it just needs more work. Now, we're going to talk about the vehicles. Most importantly, we need to talk about the top one. Fix an issue where passenger weapons would no longer be in sync whenever the driver's turret would rotate, causing bullets to not register when firing at enemies. Once again, I am baffled as to how this got through in the first place. Who tested any of this? Because I've seen countless clips of this happening, and I'm so very glad that it's in these patch notes. However, I cannot be excited for this to be in the patch notes, because just like everything else in this list so far, I just cannot confirm it. I cannot confirm whether or not it works. So, once again, I'm counting on you guys. Tell me, have you experienced this fix working? M1A5 and T28, the tanks of the game, improved the effective range and reduced spread on canister weapon pod, reduced bullet spread from 1.6 to 1.1, increased damage fall-off distance from 35 to 40. Now, to some of you, this might sound like a pretty good change. Wow, they made a pretty useless weapon on a vehicle a little bit better. I would argue that this, once again, is practically a pointless fix, because it is so rare for me to see a tank actually push close quarters. I never see a tank pushing infantry. They're always sat on a hillside or on the dunes, way away from danger, way away from everyone, simply not doing that much to help the team. If a tank has the canister weapon pod installed, they only install it because it is the thing they previously unlocked. It's practically useless. It does not enough, damage to anything else. It doesn't have any anti-vehicle capabilities. It doesn't really have that many capabilities for anti-infantry. Maybe this fix makes it a little tiny bit better, but once again, I would need to see a tank actually push infantry and be close quarters. But it just won't. I just don't think the vehicle players in this game will do it. Battlefield Portal. This was one of the most controversial changes to the game at launch, and it is still a controversial change now. So, the most important thing about Battlefield Portal, which is not in these patch notes, is the fact that they now have sort of fixed the XP gains. For those of you that don't know, when the game released, you could easily blast through the masteries of the game and level up pretty quickly by using bot farms or by playing very hardcore servers where everything was basically a one-shot kill, which means you could rack up so many kills per game. And they nerfed it, which is mostly understandable given the fact that the rest of the game doesn't seem to have been tested greatly, so why would Portal? But then they said they would be bringing in new measures to make sure that people could still earn some XP, and maybe earn some masteries depending on the game mode they were playing. Depends on how heavily modified the game mode is. And it's still dumb. It's still not enough. Why is it that the XP gains are so heavily nerfed in Portal, but yet you still allow people to have the freedom to do these bot farms? You still allow people to have the freedom to do what they were doing before. Now, looking through this list of general Battlefield Portal fixes, I cannot confirm or deny that any of these work, because I also have not experienced any of them working or not working myself. So, glad these fixes are in. Once again, do not know if they work or not. So please, guys, if you have experienced this, tell me, let me know, and we'll just laugh about it together in the comments. Now, we need to talk about one of the biggest elephants in the room currently. I want to point out the fact that DICE added a zombie mode to Portal, and I'm not kidding. You probably wouldn't even realize that it was in the game right now, because it was in the game for barely a day. I've been playing it in the background this whole time. The whole point is, you have to survive for 1 hour. 1 hour surviving means you win the game, but obviously, as is, like COD Zombies or anything else, you're not supposed to live forever. But instead of limiting the time or, making the zombies pretty strong from the first couple of minutes, people have already found the best ways to sit in certain spots and just farm XP. The game mode gives you full XP. I made more progress on all of my weapons in this game mode more than I ever did in the base game. And I have to sit there and laugh. No wonder they removed it basically instantly. It didn't even feel like it was tested. It's like they just made the game mode, put in the code, said, yep, the zombies get this strong after this long, and then they were done with it. I cannot believe it. I'm going to put up a clip right now, actually, about when the zombies became too powerful on a game of no Sharkanels. I simply just ran around and used the specialist and used the Molotov. And I just ran around loops. The other members of my squad were sitting in one spot, making them herd up, and I was running around just spotting them with RAW and throwing Molotovs at them. And I had an ammo crate on the ground, so every time I took a lap, I just got restocked. And I mastered the Molotov. And I made a great deal of progress on Pike, on Rao. I even made more progress on Sundance and on Boris. Because of how much the zombies, or well, Battlefield 3 soldier zombies, were clumping up together. I just want to know if this game was even tested once. Or did someone just go, yep, this works, and just put it in the game? So, the zombie mode is gone. And I doubt it will be coming back in the same strength. The XP gains will be heavily nerfed, if it ever comes back. And I doubt you will be able to accomplish any masteries, if it does come back. What an absolute waste of a game mode. That is time you could have spent fixing more major issues. Stuff that isn't even in the patch notes. Where is the C5 drone nerf? Where is Boris's sentry turret nerf? Where are any nerfs to any major outliers? Where is the PKP nerf? Where is the Vector nerf? These weapons are just too strong. And I want to point out, the PKP unlocks with high power extended magazines. Instead of you having to unlock the most powerful ammunition for the gun, it unlocks for you straight away. It is the first thing you have. Where is that nerf? Same with the Vector. Where is the nerf? Same with the MP9. They don't even unlock with standard issue rounds. They unlock with powerful magazines. They unlock with powerful ammunition. Where is that nerf? And furthermore, this is what I want to talk about now, is that we finally have updates on the scoreboard. And I'm going to get a picture of the scoreboard. I'm going to put it up on the screen right now. I cannot believe the state of the scoreboard. And I'm not going to harp on it. I'm not going to tear it to shreds. People have done that already. What I'm going to do is just ask a simple question. Why are you over-designing a scoreboard? Now, if you look in the top right, you can see there's a match overview. And it looks good. It fits where it is. But underneath it is the old style of scoreboard, quote-unquote scoreboard, where you can see yourself, your performance, and your ribbons. Now what's the point of you having your own when it's on the scoreboard next to you? Furthermore, where are the deaths? Deaths aren't as important as other things, I agree. However, it is still something that is good information. By seeing the enemy team's deaths, you understand how tough or how challenging some of them are going to be to face. That's how I've always seen it anyway. But instead, we have kills, assists, revives, captures, and defenses. Now, revives are a good thought, but it's not important information. Not for a scoreboard. That's like an end of round thing. Captures and defenses, also a good idea. But again, it's not important information for a scoreboard. A scoreboard should be how much score someone has, how many kills that they have, assists, and deaths. That should be the bare minimum. And instead, we have an incredibly cluttered scoreboard. I mean, it's not even split up into team-based. You're all just lumped into the same scoreboard. The game wants so desperately for everyone to feel like a winner that they won't even separate team score. And what's weird, looking at this, is that the score isn't even representative of what you earn XP-wise. The score is just a low number count of the amount of stuff you've done that game. And I gotta wonder why. I still have to... I don't understand why it is the way that it is. I mean, why have assists so prominent? And what baffles me even more is that some people are going to blast onto the top of this scoreboard because they're going to play Casper, sit at the back of the map with their little C5 drone, or whatever, or just a general drone even for that matter, and they're going to sit at the back, fly over towards the nearest objective on breakthrough, and just spot all the players. They're going to blast to the top of that scoreboard because assists earn you just as much XP as a kill. And they're also, apparently, according to this scoreboard, worth the same amount of points for score. But spotting, which is also quite important, doesn't give you that much XP, but the assists you get from spotting are very powerful. You don't even have to get that many kills per game, and you can just climb straight to the top of the scoreboard. Or you can climb straight to the top of the highlights. It just needs another work. It should just be a basic scoreboard, and the basic scoreboard should come along with spotting nerfs, as well as should come along with assist nerfs. The highlights should not be a Casper who spotted someone or got 165 assists. That should not be the case. It should be how many kills, which is not as important, vehicles destroyed like it is already, captures, revives, all this good stuff. Take away assists, or at least nerf them to the floor. They do not need to be so powerful. That way, the scoreboard is going to be more representative of the people actually playing objectives and how many people are sitting at the back of the map doing basically nothing. Because as it stands, you could be a very useful member of the team and still be completely overshadowed by someone who is simply not doing their bit for the team. They're just sitting there, like at the back of the map, like I said, just clicking away. And I don't get how you can reward that kind of playstyle like this, with a scoreboard designed like this. It's mind-boggling. It's just funny. I have to sit here and laugh. And in conclusion, I cannot believe we waited a month and a half for this patch. This patch was supposed to be more than it was, and instead it delivered half-cooked fixes, and there's only a few of them at that. Sure, for some people, it might have fixed a lot of stuff. It might have made some people's game work better. It might have made people's stability better. But from my personal experience, it simply hasn't done that much. It simply hasn't had that much of an impact. And I gotta sit here and say to myself again, am I at the end of my rope? Am I expecting too much from a AAA developer in 2021 and 2022 to just ship their game with basic features? We're going to have to wait another month for this scoreboard. And we're going to have to wait another month for voice chat. And we don't even know if they're going to work. At this point, they could say, oh, the fixes are on the way, the fixes are on the way. But will they even work? God knows. I have absolutely so little faith in DICE to fix any of this right now that I just don't know what to do. But the fact that they came through with an update means I'm just going to hang on a little bit longer. I'm not going to refund my game, even though I feel like it would be a better use of my time to refund the game. Clearly, DICE can come through with the bare minimum. And if they're willing to give the bare minimum, I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt that one day this game will be something. It might not be what everyone wanted. It might not be the masterpiece we all hoped. It'll be something, though. It'll be something that we can just sit back and relax to play. With that, we're just going to have to wait and see. So, expect a couple more 2042 videos. I'm still probably going to play the game a little bit, still try and rank stuff up while I can. But I just want to see where this game goes. I really just want to see where this game goes. And I think I'm going to end up making a very, very in-depth video about fixes that I want to see, changes that I want to see. Because if this game can come through with very minor updates, maybe, just maybe, big, major updates that smaller creators like me can say will make it into the game, maybe, just maybe, I'll get the Battlefield game that I paid all that money for. So with that, if you guys enjoyed this patch notes reading, this scoreboard analysis, or whatever this was, this zombie mode critique, I never thought I'd say that about a Battlefield game. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Leave a comment talking to me about any issues you've experienced or any issues that you think might have been fixed or haven't been fixed. Let's get some communication going here. Let's get a conversation going. I want to know what your guys' experience with the game is. And if you stuck around this long, then thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day.